Hello Taurus, I hope you guys are doing really well. I'm going to go ahead and get into reading for you for the first part of September 2021. Okay, so I want to ask you, I usually do this at the end of the reading, but I'm trying to build up my views again. If you would be so kind, if this resonates, to like this video, or subscribe as well if that is something that you choose to do. I don't like doing it. I'm bad at promoting myself. I don't know why. Anyways, to get into this reading, I was meditating a bit before this energy, or before this reading, and the energy that came through was insecurity in love, or insecurity around love. And what was being shown to me was like, as if like we're holding on to old emotional imprints from past relationships, or the imprints from the past, and almost like somewhat romanticizing what isn't in our lives anymore. You know, it's kind of that, it's recognizing the negative aspects of things, but also seeing the silver linings too much, or seeing the good in things. You know, it doesn't see the truth in a matter. It doesn't allow things to move forward. And it kind of keeps us stuck in this like emotional loop. And it feels like it's like an emotional tie, but it's a negative association. So this is brought on through insecurity and love. So what does that tell me? It means that like when we have these negative associations, it's easier to dwell on the past and like feel connections to the past, even if nothing is there anymore, than entering into something towards our future. So very interesting energy, Taurus, I'll be honest with you. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to do a 9-card spread for you guys. Give me energy for the sign of Taurus, please, September 2021. Yeah, after having COVID last year and taking like 4 months off from YouTube, my channel plummeted. I used to get like 30,000, you know, video or views per video, and now it's like maybe 75, 100. It's kind of weird. 2 more. Show me for Taurus, please. Thank you. All right, Taurus. So the first card we have out is the 3 of Wands. This can talk a lot about patience and things coming into our lives in due time. You know, it basically talks a lot about when we put the energy out there, new things come into our lives. And with what I talked about initially when it comes to like holding on to old memories, or kind of ruminating and reliving things from our past, these like emotional imprints that maybe felt very good at one point, but the fact that like they're no longer in our lives, it almost kind of drives home this sense of lack in the situation. It's like reminiscing about what I once had, but it also kind of keeps me stuck. Here, it's asking us to be very conscious of how we move forward, the energy that we do put out, because it does come back to us, you know. And if you're giving to a void, it almost gives to more avoidance, which is, I don't mean to like, you know, be punny or play on words, but that's what it feels like. We have the Page of Cups. Connections, communications, new opportunities coming through, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. New friends, new connections, going out on a date, connecting yourself with another person, somebody being pleasant with you. But also with the Page of Cups, this card can have a lot of energy when it tells us to have fun. It tells us to enjoy ourselves and engage in things that maybe we're not used to, or that are brand new, but can lead to a lot of fun. Be playful. The Judgment card here, you know, perhaps holding on to a lot of judgment here as well. With this, and I'm going to clarify everything in a little bit once I get the cards out and we get further into this reading. But with the 3 of Wands here, you know, there are things that come back to us. And I feel here that like there's an element with judgment. If we're holding off on these situations, if we're holding off on new people coming into our lives, if we're not allowing things to, if we're not allowing ourselves to be accessible, you know, to others, it stifles the energy that is presenting in our lives, you know, and so it's asking us to be very clear about what we put our intention and energy into, you know. Give me more. You have the Ten of Swords here, so you can talk a lot about sadness, frustration, regret, a lot of mental and emotional disconnect, being stabbed in the back, people not treating us properly. Also, situations that have been dead, it's almost as if like we're holding on to them, or like we're waiting for some sort of return here. For some of you, this may be literally holding on to the hope of an apology from somebody. That can be very difficult in life because you cannot control how people present themselves, how they're going to you know, change things, how they're going to be genuine and honest. You know, it's like, if this is fresh, there is the chance of an apology here, and you may have the opportunity to make a better judgment moving forward here. But what I'm picking up is that there may be somebody that is just holding themselves back in relationships, in life, in their emotional bliss, in their emotional connections, period. It feels like somebody is like hoping that something is going to return to them, even though it's dead. It's been sad. It's no longer there. And I do want to say, if this has been a long time and you haven't received any type of apology or connection or clarification from somebody, any type of, you know, closure, that's more of an indication on the person than it is you, you know. And it's telling that you're holding on to it. And Taurus can be very, very stubborn when it comes to wanting to get their needs met, especially on an emotional level. All of this seemed to be very emotional, and I kept getting emotional imprinting of the past. And so, like, it's kind of like it's made its indelible mark on your heart, on your emotions here. You have the Knight of Pentacles coming through here. Dedication, perseverance, getting involved in situations that are real, they're genuine. Let's go ahead and pull out the rest of the cards. King of Wands, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Ace of Cups, the Three of Swords, and you have the Five of Cups in reverse. And let's go ahead and flip this over. The Two of Wands. So in this reading, for the Two of Wands to be here at the bottom of the deck, it's really telling me that there's an emphasis on moving forward, on choosing a different path than what you're currently on, or the emotional path that you're currently in. It feels like there's something over here, but if you look at this Knight of Pentacles, I pay attention to the direction that things are in, you know, and so he's facing this way towards this Ten of Swords. The thing about the Knight of Pentacles is this person, this energy, if this is your energy, Taurus, it's telling me that you're invested in a situation that is done, that is painful, that is over, yet we still persist in it, yet we still hold, you know, it's like we've written down our feelings about it. We have it sealed in a book. It's like we're holding on to this energy here, you know, keeping a tally, keeping score. If that is the energy that you're residing in, it may just be better to cut your losses and free yourself from holding on to that energy here. The King of Wands is very instrumentative in that, just because he's an energy of forward movement, passionate direction, somebody that, you know, they live life on their own terms. They create things in their life. You know, this may be a connection, new connection coming through for you with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but it also may be very much asking you to free yourself. Remember who you are. Allow things to dissipate in your life that are no longer necessary for you to experience, you know, and there is a beautiful gift that comes in wallowing. You know, and that's a harsh word to say. A lot of people don't like looking at that, but if we are in our feelings for so long and having such resonance and rumination and reminiscence of things, that is a sense of wallowing, you know, especially if it's having an emotional impact on us that comes out in a negative way. From here, you move to the Ace of Cups. So this can talk about healing your heart, especially when it comes to this, accepting that, you know, perhaps we have to cut our losses and move on because we cannot control if somebody gives us clarification or closure. We can't make something happen. So it really is a nod to being very proactive here in how you move forward. This, though, with this kind of energy here in the Three of Swords, it's telling me that it's right in front of his face. It's under there as well. So it's like what is under the skin. The Three of Swords, pain, heartache, frustration, being tied to a situation that we can't seem to shake or let go of. And the thing about the Knight of Pentacles, he's upright. You know, he's upright, and it tells me that there's a sense of duty or a sense of dedication. And I want to say sometimes we can give too much dedication to situations and people that don't really even deserve it, and it just kind of plays out in our own head. I will say too, I have a Taurus moon, okay? My moon is in Taurus. The moon affects our emotions, the things that we believe in, how we feel, our sense of security in our world and in our surroundings. When it comes to love, for me, I have been in situations where I, you know, get ghosted or whatever, for years, mourning for them, for years, holding on to the hope that they may come back, for years. Never came back, never communicated, but still holding on to it, still thinking about the good times, still kind of reliving things in a way where it's like, should I give them another chance? You know, what if they come back and like say it this way? And da-da-da-da-da. And I do want to say here too, really quickly, some of you may need to disconnect from YouTube, and you might not want to hear that, but some of you may need to disconnect from YouTube tarot readings, because there are a lot of tarot readers out there that will say, oh, they're coming back. They're doing this. They've got you on their mind, and you just can't stop thinking about, they can't stop thinking about you, and they're in love with you, and they're coming back to say sorry. You know, have they come back to say sorry yet? How long has it been? Years? You know, maybe that scenario where I give myself as an example doesn't apply to you, but for whomever I'm talking about, this is kind of like a longing energy, and I've been through that, and I've come out of that, and I can express that to you because this is what I'm picking up on. New opportunities in love, new opportunities to heal yourself, but I feel it's more of a self-healing connection here, especially face on with this Three of Swords. This is heartache, addressing things, being very clear. But the beauty of this reading is that through perseverance, you know, and we have to redirect our perseverance. We have to redirect our dedication and diligence, because it almost feels like it's pointed at the wrong thing right now, Taurus. We can change that. We can point it towards ourselves, get a different perspective on things, carry our life in a new direction. With the Five of Cups in reverse, this is saying, I'm free. I'm no longer allowing myself to be connected to these negative associations. My heart is no longer broken. I'm allowing myself to change my opportunities because I see that fairness is most important to me here. And I no longer want to live in regret and sadness, ruminating on this old situation. I find a new path and I take my first steps on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get some cards here to clarify this reading for you guys. And we will get into this. Show me the Three of Wands here for Taurus. You have the Page of Swords coming through here. Some of you, I'm going to just say it, some of you are very intently watching a person. You know, this can talk about, you know, dealing with situations of, I feel like there's an element here of watching somebody. And I know this Page of Swords is not in reverse, but there's an element here that is getting in the way of your progress. Keeping tabs on somebody, watching somebody, social media, whatever it may be. The Page of Swords also can be, if you're dealing with somebody that comes from this nature, it can talk about somebody that is very immature in the way that they communicate their emotions. It's almost as if they can be afraid of their emotions, and so they hide. You know, we have Page of Swords, Page of Cups. It's very youthful energy. You know, it's somebody that doesn't really address things. It's like they would rather have the easier parts of things, the playful things, you know. And so with this, it's like wanting a return from that kind of person, especially after something has gone here. You're dealing with somebody that has a difficult time accessing their emotions. And so, you know, yes, it can talk about you watching them intently or collecting data or information upon them, you know, hoping that they return. But also, if you're wanting somebody like this to return to you, be prepared to know that this situation is, it's somebody that's immature. I almost feel like the dynamic that you may have experienced with this person was kind of a mothering energy, but like you being put in that maternal position, which can kind of play a weird role on your mind, because Taurus can be very, very maternal and very protective. And it can also get distorted, you know, in certain situations where we feel very connected to somebody, but maybe they don't reciprocate, or maybe they're not able to reciprocate in the depth that we want, and then it almost becomes like a parent-child dynamic versus a romantic true connection. And some of you, this may be a parent-child dynamic as well, you know, where maybe we're holding on to something that we can't change with a person. We just have to let them do their thing. Show me the Page of Cups here for Taurus. Hang on, they're on the floor. So you have the Six of Swords, and you've got the Page of Cups coming through here. Ten of Swords, you know. Six of Swords, Page of Cups. This is asking us to move forward. Now, if this is in situations where it's like we are holding on to stuff from our past, it's telling me that there may be new opportunities coming into your life with new people that can, you know, okay, so that, okay, okay, hang on. So what I heard, like literally very quickly, was to play it out again, you know. So that can mean if you don't learn the lesson, if you don't part ways with this type of energy, you may involve yourself, or you may become involved with another person in your life where you'll get to play this out again. You know, it might not be the exact same situation, but it's going to tug on certain heartstrings. It's going to emphasize certain things that we need to grow through. That is the beauty of karmic relationships. That is the beauty of soulmate energy. You know, they're all energies that just cycle with us, but they're there for lessons for us. Six of Swords is asking us, hey, we've dealt with this for a long time. Let me move on. Let me find something different, you know. And it doesn't mean that this is destined to be a negative association, but for some of you, I'm hearing, you know, you may get to play this out again, okay, if this situation is resonating for you. For some of you, this may be a new opportunity for new love, new connections here, and we need to get over the heartache. Whatever has happened has happened. Ten of Swords, this energy is over, okay? King of Swords underneath that energy. It's asking us to be very clear about the directions that we see ourselves in moving forward. It's being less emotionally distracted and having a better footing in reality within logic and reason. Show me judgment here. Better judgment, or a change in judgment and perspective. Show me judgment. You have the Four of Cups here, Taurus. Ten of Wands, bottom of the deck. So here, judgment on situations that may have rejected us, you know. What is our judgment on them? Yes, we can, some of you are, maybe this isn't resonating at all, and you're like, you know, I let that person go, I cut them out long ago, it doesn't matter. But I feel like whatever I'm reading for here, or whomever I'm reading for, there's a level of aftermath that is emotional. It's like an emotional aftermath that keeps kind of haunting a person. It keeps a certain loop happening emotionally for them. And it's like, I think that gets in the way because it almost kind of sets us up for being in connections that kind of prove to us that we're not worthy. We get pushed aside, you know, we're not valuable. And that can be very difficult for somebody's psyche and emotional state. And so it's asking us to, you know, what we've been holding on to diligently, not letting it go, hoping that it changes in a certain way. It's asking us for us to connect to new opportunities and new people that have a better expression, better way of dealing with things, better communication styles. You know, it asks us to step up to the plate in regard to challenging ourselves, you know, in how we stick to situations that don't really give us much. And the Four of Cups here too, it is a card of rejection, and it's also a card of complacency. And sometimes when we're in these very deep, sour spaces in ourselves, we can become complacent, we can become stuck in them, and we resign our energy to these things. And so it's like, it's asking you to shake it up, it's asking you to reject that notion and move forward in your life towards new things. I feel like doggy paddling out of a pond or something. Show me the Ten of Swords. You have the Four of Wands coming through with the Ten of Swords here, Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck. The Four of Wands can deal with relationships, marriages, foundations, home life, the relationships that we have closest with us. It can talk also of commitments. Here you have the Ace of Cups as well. Perhaps with the Three of Wands, this was a connection that we wanted to be committed to, or we wanted to have some sort of deepening, and it did not go further. With the Ten of Swords, there was an abrupt ending, or there was a very, very painful ending in a situation that kind of turned us on our asses. Here with the Six of Wands, though, it's like recognizing what it is that's happened. And if you look at this card, it's very interesting. If it would focus, the Six of Wands, it talks about victory. It talks about victory. It talks about perseverance and change, being seen for your efforts and dedication. But also here in this card, it does remind me very much of the Six of Swords. You know, I don't know if you guys know the Six of Swords, but it's an element of being, I'm going to put it back. It's the element of being available to change, being able to move across new paths, new changes in your life, moving from a very emotional turmoil to something new. And so it gives us a breath of fresh air. It's less emotionally driven. But yeah, with this Ten of Swords, it may be that in the past there was a very deeply painful experience that happened here. And so with that, again, I keep getting like these holding on to old emotional imprints from the past. And so when we have like a very deep heartache, it can make a very indelible impression upon us, okay? Show me the Knight of Pentacles here moving forward for Taurus. Is this a person coming into their life, or is this their energy? You have Judgment here, okay? Judgment, it's interesting just because what I had mentioned here was, you know, if this is your energy, it's like being very dedicated to something that's already over, still hoping for different changes in a situation that is over, still hoping that, you know, somebody takes accountability for themselves even though they are not. You know, it's that kind of energy, like I'm keeping score, you know, I'm waiting for this to change. Don't waste your time. And I don't want to minimize your pain or your situation, but it feels like don't waste your time, because this is an emotional suck. It drains you, and you have other things to do in your life that require you to be fully present and in a better sense of self, an emotional sense of self. So be very clear about what we are holding on to with Judgment here and the Knight of Pentacles. You know, is it all cracked up is it all cracked up to what it's supposed to be, or is it severely lacking? You know, what are we holding on to? What are we being so like, I feel like a deep grip. Show me the King of Wands moving forward. So you have the Two of Swords coming out sideways here. Two of Swords is an interesting energy, you guys. If you know tarot, here. Okay, so it's interesting because it talks about difficult situations, difficult decisions to have, and kind of stalling in regard to those. Not making a decision, not moving forward, not communicating. It can also talk about a very long stalemate with another person, or just a stalemate in general. With the King of Wands, if you feel like you cannot move forward in your life without communication, then communicate to this person if you feel that it's that necessary. Don't be surprised that they don't get back to you, you know, if they haven't created some sort of form of accountability already. But if you must have communication, create it. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means, hey, I require communication in my connections, you know, even if they're dead, and even if it's been very painful and unjust, I still require some form of communication. And so you may not get response, but it also frees you up to have new opportunities. And if you want no communication with this person, or you're not going to initiate communication because they should, and I'm waiting for them to do it, this King of Wands is telling you, please don't wait any longer. This is about taking charge in your own life, moving forward in your own directions here. Whether or not you get communication from somebody, because this is very 50-50 energy with the Two of Swords sideways, you know, you may not get reciprocal communication from this person, but that is not something that should stop you dead in your tracks and dead in your life, okay? Show me the Ace of Cups here for Taurus. You have the King of Wands coming through here. This may be another person coming into your life here, Taurus, Knight of Cups. So beautiful energy. Also with this too, I read that as that energy, Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck. This is an ending to this. This is an ending to you holding yourself back because we're worried that, you know, somebody's not coming back, or they're not communicating, or whatever is unjust is not fair. You know, doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter to a degree, but in the long run, it doesn't matter. Knight of Cups, King of Wands. This is the type of energy that I'm talking about. I feel like there may be a person coming into your life that has an opportunity to help shift your perception and also awaken you in ways that you may have not experienced at all in this past situation. This is a very passionate energy. You have the King of Wands twice here, so it almost tells me that there is two people matching each other in a very passionate way. I don't necessarily feel, I mean, Judgment can talk about reconciliation, but you also have the Four of Cups. It's a card of rejecting an offer, you know, so I don't feel like anything is coming back from the past, to be quite honest with you, other than harboring emotional resentments, harboring emotional connections to our past that have been pretty devastating, but also they require us to remain stuck. And here it's like we have a very quick shift in opportunities that comes here with the King of Wands, with the Knight of Cups. This is wanting to express emotionally, wanting to have fun, fantastic sex, you know, connecting in a very, very passionate way. Fire sign energy, Aries, Virgo, Aries, Virgo, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. This comes after this very painful ending, you know, but I don't feel it's like, this has been a long time in the making, this Ten of Swords. This is not something that's brand new. It's been wallowed here. You've wallowed in it. Now it's time to change things. And I feel like somebody kind of brings this energy into your life. And this also, if you're not interested in a person, this may also be a new pursuit of creativity. The Knight of Cups, King of Wands, creative, excellent creativity when it comes to that energy as well. Getting your life back, having freedom from this bondage. Show me the Three of Swords here for Taurus. You have the Illumination card coming out here, Taurus. This is a beautiful energy. It's specific to this deck, the Illumination card. It basically says that, you know, whatever has been hidden, whatever has been kept in the dark, in the recesses of our emotions and in our hearts and our minds, the things that we hold on to that are no longer serving us, you know, or whatever information needs to come out and be known, it comes out and it is known. It is a new sense of awareness, a new direction, a new sense of self. It's breaking the mold. It's allowing things to have freedom and new opportunities here. I feel like there's a lot of lessons that get learned with this, and that can help propel somebody into a new sense of self in life, which very much is indicated here with the Five of Cups in reverse. You know, it tells me that we are able to move past things. We're able to graduate and grow and see our potential rising. We're able to cut ties with our old energies. You know, and for some of you, if you're having a very deep connection to somebody from the past that is not healthy at all, and you can't let it go, even though you're the only one in it at this point, you may want to look up cord cutting. You may want to consider cord cutting. It's an emotional and etheric bond cutting, you know, from a person. It can help with that kind of energy. If we're holding on to things that are no longer in our lives, but they've made such an indelible imprint on us that it's like we can't stand to let them go, you know, or romanticizing what isn't in our lives anymore. It's like holding on to stuff and thinking of things with rose-colored glasses, only thinking of the good times and kind of diminishing the bad times, or, you know, making them less terrible, even though it was pretty bad. Ten of Swords. Show me the Five of Cups here for Taurus, please. You have the Four of Swords coming through here. So beautiful energy here. Bottom of the deck, the Fool. Two of Wands, new beginnings, new directions, choice in the matter. The Four of Swords with the Five of Cups in reverse. I love this because it tells me that we're willing to do the work, we're willing to heal from a situation, and we're willing to look at things in a new perspective. Four of Swords is all about healing, having an awakening of sorts, being able to physically recuperate from something, emotionally recuperate from something. With the Five of Cups in reverse, it's a card of recuperation here. The Two of Wands and the Fool. New opportunities in love, connection, healing, fantastic experiences ahead of you. I love that this energy is here. I feel like there's a new opportunity in connection, in love for you. And if that's not it, then it's a new connection to heal. It's a new connection to you. But I feel like there's an element of somebody coming here. So show me for Taurus, please. Okay, so pay attention to the red flags is coming out here as well. And then we also have true love. Very interesting energies coming through here. I don't necessarily feel like this pay attention to the the RAD flags, R-A-D. Pay attention to the RAD flags, you guys. I feel like that's definitely an element of this King of Wands. Pay attention to the RAD flags. But I feel like maybe a couple of readings ago, or maybe it was the last reading I did for you guys, there was an element of, what was the reading about? It was like how you show up in relationships and what red flags do you see in yourself. I think that was the message that I read for you last time, or at least the title of it. How do you show up in your relationships? How are you holding yourself back? You know, that kind of stuff. Those types of associations will play out into your relationships if you don't heal them. And here we have an element of definite healing, you know, but like I said up here, for some of you, if you're not able to get out of this and you're not able to see past it, we create new opportunities that cycle into our lives with new people that kind of let us live out this painful experience again and again and again until we find out that, you know, oh, maybe it's me. Maybe part of this is me. You know, not to say that it's your fault. It's not about fault. It's about wounding, addressing wounding, healing wounding, seeing things through different perspectives, being vulnerable about who we are and how we show up in things and how we show up for ourselves. Because what this is telling me up here, this painful past experience that we somehow can't let go of, how we show up for ourselves, we're not showing up for ourselves here. We're letting this win. We're letting this sadness hold on to us and have a deep, deep grip. So be careful about that. I'm going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards for you guys. Oh yeah, true love. Okay. Show me pay attention to the red flags. Sorry, I got distracted. I had messages coming in. Show me pay attention to the red flags. Oh, so many cards, so many cards. Okay. So, very much what we just said over here. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles showing up. Pay attention to the red flags. And then the Four of Pentacles. So I want to emphasize this reading, or this card here. You also have the Fool popping out with that. I'm going to stick that over here because the Fool was, the way they popped out, these were upright, this was still down. I'm going to put that separately. I want you to look at this card though, okay, Taurus? If you look at this card, you have the Four of Pentacles holding on to something. It talks about holding on to things here that need to go. You know, nothing comes in if we hold on. Nothing comes out. Nothing is in or out. You know, there's just a stagnancy with this energy. Now, if you look at this card as well, you have the Grim Reaper here. There's an element of the Death card in this reading, or in this card here. So holding on to something that needs to let go of, you know, this is the whole message here with the Knight of Pentacles and this Ten of Swords. Holding on to something that's been very painful, wanting to give back to it, but it's not healthy for us. That is a red flag. That is not a RAD flag. It's a red flag, you know. This is the RAD flag. This is the Fool moving forward, having a new opportunity. And I feel like there's a big sense of freedom that happens here when we release this type of energy, or at least address it, you know. Show me true love. Okay, so you have the Queen of Cups coming through here, Taurus. This is a very beautiful energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. This is talking about very high levels of receptivity, connecting with somebody that is genuine, nurturing, very loving. If this is your energy, it can become a very beautiful thing. But I do want to caution that if you put yourself in a maternal energy, you know, or you find that like you just dote all over somebody and you want to like hold them very close, like have the ability to create some space with that. Have the ability to maybe not get so enmeshed, because there's an enmeshment energy that is also a nod to this past energy here. And I feel that that might be, it's not to say don't love a person, it's just don't completely pour your entirety into them, you know, because it gets lost on people. And sometimes people don't like to experience that. They don't want to have everything, the attention on them 24 hours a day. It's almost a smothering energy, you know. So if this is true love, new love, you know, connect with somebody accordingly and be very open. If this is somebody coming towards you, it's a very loving and receptive energy, a very healing energy for you to experience. Show me, and then new opportunities, new directions with the Fool. Show me for Taurus, please. You have discipline coming here, Taurus. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. It's a very interesting energy just because it almost tells me that this has been a very big struggle for you. You know, this may have been a very big struggle for you to get yourself out of this mindset, this negative heart space, this feeling of attachment to things from the past that are just kind of like, at this point, you know, specters, ghosts of our past that haunt us in our mind. This is asking us to move forward with new perseverance and purpose and allow new things in our lives to come through. Pay attention to the RAD flags. So I love you guys. This reading is what I have for you. And if you liked it, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate to my channel, there's a link in the description box below of this video. And if you're seeking a personal reading, you can contact me at thealtruisticmystic@gmail.com. All right, take care, you guys. I love you. Bye.